Three, two, one. Hey, it's Wild Josh from Geek-Cetera, and I'm joined by Chase, Ezra, and Joa. Kyle's not with us today, but we got Joa filling in, and we know he fills in perfectly. So today we're going to talk about Love and Monsters. We just finished watching the trailer, so let's get geeky. All right, so Love and Monsters, we just finished watching the trailer. Well, you three just finished watching the trailer. I actually watched the movie. So I want to know what your first impressions are of the trailer right away before we get into a little pitch that I'm going to do for the movie.
So, very contradictory to my normal opinion on this. The first flaw that I'm going to give this movie is that it doesn't have Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. Because this seems exactly like his type of movie. And I was trying to think of the movie. I think it's Journey to the Center of
To the
the Earth
center of the
and
earth.
Journey of the
Was he
Center
in that? I never actually saw
and
that.
Journey to Mysterious Island. That's the vibes that this trailer gave me.
Mm.
I never saw those
So,
movies, so I can't really tell you if it actually was
it
similar.
definitely just
It's
I don't I'm sure the other guys can vouch, but like it feels like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
yeah, I could see it, though. The one joke in the trailer that I don't think would have worked is I feel like Tom Cruise.
Well,
That
no,
was
I'm
pretty
not
funny
saying
to
that
me.
he should have been the main character. I think that
Oh, okay. He
I
could have
think
been like okay.
the guide that has the little girl with him,
Mm.
I feel like that should have been Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the
Yeah.
hardcore survivor dude.
Who
Like
plays him? Because he
super
looked
jacked.
familiar to me.
Yeah, that's Michael Rooker,
Yeah.
Michael
who was
Rooker.
Yondu in
That
Guardians
makes
of the
sense.
Galaxy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
That's
it.
why I didn't recognize
And
him.
he
He wasn't
actually had a
like
pretty cool
blue.
He wasn't blue.
Yeah. That's cool.
So your first impression, Chase, was that it needed The Rock.
Needed more rock.
So it looked interesting to me. Cool concept. I mean, it kind of feels like a what is that called? That movie with John Krasinski.
Oh,
A Quiet
yeah,
Place.
yeah,
It had
Quiet
like a
Place.
Quiet Place
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
theme,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
like not the same vibe. This seems a lot
Right.
more lighthearted and
Its own thing, definitely.
yeah. So that was I mean it's definitely that's a cool concept. It looks cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that kind of theming they've got going on. I love sci-fi. I'm a sucker for sci-fi. So really, I like the theming they have. That it's kind of a post-apocalyptic. They
Yeah.
have sci-fi elements to it,
Mhm.
but it's still very dilapidated.
Yeah. I like that we
I
get
like
a
that kind of theme.
post-apocalyptic but not zombie apocalypse.
Hmm.
I thought that was
Yeah.
cool because I'm not a
Yeah,
big
'cause
zombie guy. So
No.
I'm there with you,
Yeah.
Chase.
I don't think any of us are big zombie guys.
No, no, not really.
So like the fact that monsters is a cool twist, and you can like every monster can be so unique and individualized. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So my initial thoughts when I first saw the trailer was it looked like something fun that I'd want to see. So this weekend we did a lot of stuff as a family together because it was my wife and I's anniversary, and also my parents' anniversary. So we were like looking to watch a movie, and this is actually available. It didn't go to theaters; it went like straight to you can rent it on Zoom or it's Vudu or what do you call it? Amazon. So I watched it on Amazon. I've been collecting. I don't know if you guys do a lot of Amazon shopping, but they lately have been like, if you want it to come a little later, you can select like an option, and they'll give you $1 towards like virtual currency. So like you can't buy actual items with it, but you can like buy music or books or movies. So every time it asks me that, I always say yes, and I've been accumulating $1. So it was actually they called it like a pre-release thing that you could do. So it was $12.99 to rent it or $19.99 to buy it. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna buy it because I don't know if maybe I'm gonna like it. So I had accumulated enough of those Amazon dollars that I could spend it and it was only like $3 to watch the movie. That's like kind of like renting a movie anyway. So that's what I did. So we all watched it and everyone pretty much liked it. It was funny. There was like it was more comedic than I expected, I guess. Even though you get a vibe from that in the trailer. I thought it was pretty good. So I'm going to give you like I guess a pitch, a non-spoilery pitch. Well, I'll just tell you about it without spoiling anything, because they start at the very beginning by the lead character, who's the guy who was in the Maze Runner series,
That's why
Dylan
he looked
O'Brien.
familiar.
Yeah, he was the guy in the Maze Runner
Gotcha.
series.
He has
Yeah.
longer
So
hair though.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My brain initially when I saw him, I was like, "That's Tom Holland." Wait, no, it's not. Definitely not Tom
No,
Holland. But I
he's
he's got
recognize
that
him.
kind of that look, and that but yeah,
He's got the shape, the facial shape.
yeah. And I would say the big characters are in it that are him, and then Michael Rooker, who plays like this wanderer guy. So, anyways, it's kind of jumps around a lot and it breaks the fourth wall a lot, because he talks to like he's talking to you almost like as you're watching the movie, which is kind of interesting, which adds to the comedic value, I guess.
Is it
But
like narrator talking or is it like him talking?
I guess it's him talking to himself, but also he's
Gotcha.
like writing in a journal the whole time. Like everything he's doing, he's writing in a
Okay.
journal. So instead of it being like he's narrating the movie, it's like he's writing in his journal.
Gotcha.
So he's talking to you and like telling you. So like it starts off like already in the post-apocalyptic, and then he kind of like talks to you and tells you how they got there.
So like it flashes back.
Yes, exactly. It has a lot of flashbacks to before. So they kind of threw me off, like the way the trailer was done. I thought it was going to start at the beginning and then you're going to see the apocalypse, but it was really like flashbacks to that. It starts off with him already 7 years after the monsters. And the monsters, you find this out like right away too, so it's not really spoilery. Is they're not just like monsters that came from outer space or something. There was like an asteroid coming to Earth, and all of like these scientists got together and figured out how to blow it out of the sky. But they used some new technology to do that, and when they did it, they ended up like causing mutations in species that already exist on Earth. So those monsters are just like species of animals and insects and stuff that were affected and mutated and got like gigantic. So it wasn't like they were aliens or something like that. It was like giant ants and like cockroaches and things like that, like that you would see. So that
That's
was
pretty
kind
cool.
of an interesting.
I thought one of them in the trailer looked like an ant, and I definitely thought one of them in the trailer looked like a tardigrade.
There's like a praying mantis too, I think, destroying the city.
Yeah.
I
So
remember seeing
yeah,
that
there
one.
was
I think
just
that one
like
wasn't that on like the cover or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
It
there
looked
was
like
a-
an acklay.
True.
So that's the monster. So it was good. I mean, it had that love story. You know, he's trying to find this girl. They have like these separate colonies that they're all living in that to survive. And everyone says like you can't go out on the surface because the surface is way too dangerous. You won't survive.
You can't go
But
into the
then, like,
maze. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. But then when he gets out there, he meets like Michael Rooker's character, and he's got a little girl with him, and they've been surviving out on the surface, and he like starts to learn like how to survive, and it was actually a pretty good story. I mean, there was some cheesiness to it for sure. The relationship between him and the dog was kind of weird. Like he talks to the dog like the dog's a person. Like I don't think people really talk to animals that
I'm
way.
pretty
I
sure
do.
I do that.
I talk to my cat all the time.
Really? Like he's
Yeah.
having like full on conversations, like asking the dog questions.
Oh, there
Like
are
he's
people that do that.
expecting
Yeah.
responses. I'm like,
Sometimes just the way
dog.
the animal
Okay.
looks back at you, it's like you can kind of judge their
I have a
personality.
confession. Sometimes I'll meow at my cat and he'll meow back, as if we're having a conversation. I'm being for real.
But
This
you
will happen.
understand what the cat's saying. Because this had like
I
a very
wished,
like Lassie,
but no.
like, you know, in like Lassie, like Timmy fell in the well kind of thing. Like, like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like he could understand the dog and the dog could understand him. I don't know. That was
That's
the
pretty
one thing
funny.
I was kind of like, okay, whatever. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know that I would go and say that spending $12.99 on a rental movie is like a good idea, unless you have like a ton of throwaway cash. But I guess
Well-
if you really wanted to see it,
Yeah.
I mean, what I'll say is that right now, no one's going out. So I guess if you want to do something fun,
And we kind of talked about this. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, I did spend, what was it? $20, $30.
Whatever the Mulan thing was.
Yep,
Oh,
on a
you did the
movie that
Mulan
was
thing?
ultimately trash. So,
They made money off of nostalgia on
but
that movie, didn't
it
they?
was still a fun experience because we were seeing a brand new movie we'd never seen before, and especially because we had gone like 6 months without seeing a brand new movie.
Yeah.
So it was good. I mean, it was basically like, and 13 I feel like is a lot more reasonable. That's only like one movie ticket versus
Yeah.
like 2 movie tickets. So that's a
True.
lot more.
And it was only
Reasonable.
$19.99 to buy. Like I could have had it for a couple
Yeah.
dollars more, which isn't too bad. But I really think that what swayed me the most is just the fact that I haven't seen a new movie, like an actual new movie, in a very long time.
Mhm.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I just want to see something new. So
Can I go on a side rant real quick?
I
Always.
think so.
I'm just really excited to see very inaccurate depictions of archery because already from the cover of the movie, I can see the little girl holding a compound bow, and the way she's drawing it, the notch of the arrow is like down here, where the reason you never see archers in real life doing that is because they need to have a completely accurate anchor point for their like arrow, so that holding it up or down doesn't affect where the arrow is going to shoot. So most archers use like the corner of their mouth and they put the notch of the arrow right here. And then that's very consistent because your mouth is always right here in comparison to like, and so if your head moves, you want to try to keep your head steady too. But anyway, I just hate archery in movies. It's awful. It's terrible. Anyway, that's my rant.
I wouldn't have picked up on that, but yeah, it's kind of funny because that girl was supposed to be a really good archer. But
Even though
Exactly. Well,
Hawkeye
they
is your
always
favorite
are. And the
Marvel
same
hero.
thing, with like Katniss Everdeen. She holds it like underneath her chin
yeah,
or something like that. And it's like, no one does that. I mean, okay, so a lot of archery too is if it works for you, that's great. If she can keep her anchor point very consistent in that position, that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. But generally, that's not what archers do because it's the corner of your mouth trick is like so much easier. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's my little rant.
I want to see.
I
So,
like it.
Josh, what's your out of 10 rating?
Well, I would say that it was probably a solid 7. And now that could be high because I just wanted, like I said, see a movie that I hadn't seen.
Mhm.
So, but there was definitely some issues with it. But overall, I found it entertaining. The soundtrack was pretty good, and
It seems like it
the
from the
acting
trailer.
was
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
So you'd say
So,
overall worth the watch. The negatives didn't draw it down.
yeah, no, I think so. I think it was worth seeing. I'm not disappointed that I saw it and spent the time to watch it. Like I've watched movies where I walked away thinking that was just a waste of time. I didn't walk away feeling that way.
Yes, Star
And
Wars Episode 8.
And like, even if you didn't
9.
have that Amazon money, would you still have spent $13 on it?
That's a good question.
Now that you've seen it and you know that it was
Yeah.
good.
I probably would have just because we wanted to watch something as a family so badly
Yeah,
that I probably would have.
cool. So
Now, yeah,
that's
so-
what I'm looking for because I
Yeah.
ultimately want to find more new movies to watch. So
and it's getting a 90% on Rotten Tomato.
that's pretty good. That's
For
pretty
the
stinking good.
and the audience score is giving it an 89. So it's a fresh pick on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I don't always trust Rotten Tomatoes, but they're usually pretty accurate.
Yeah, they're
find.
pretty accurate usually.
Yeah. So
I think
That's
the
all I
audience
have,
score
so-
is usually what's more accurate.
yeah, and it's only a
Yeah.
point off, right? 89 and 90, so it's really pretty close. But it is a new movie, so there's not a whole
Mhm.
lot of ratings.
And
as well,
it's
like-
also got very little competition to go up against too, so it might just be what you're saying is people haven't seen a new movie in a while, so
Right.
they're rating it based off of like what they remember
Maybe.
from before COVID.
So
So
that's all.
I'm sure I'm sure people have
sorry.
been watching a bunch of old movies at least. And
Yeah, that's what I've
compare
been
it
doing.
to
mostly,
good
was
movies.
watching old movies. We watched the Pink Panther 2 the other day just because like it was there. So I think it was better than that. So that's all. If you checked out the trailer or watched it, let us know what you thought of the movie. If you watched it or you saw the trailer in the comments section. And thanks for watching. And you stole food, didn't you?
A thing? This thing is my true form. Better than that crude pink shit you call a body.